Good morning. Glad you're here. So, I'm excited because I finally have a day off, and I think I can putz around in the yard all day long. I'm going to do just that. Took the dogs out to potty, and now I have a fresh face, and I'm going to put on a little bit of makeup so I don't scare the neighbors, and then I'm out there. I'm going to take him for a walk first. That's why he has his fancy choke chain on. I call it choke chain. Dogs, I had another dog that my first dog. They were so much alike, except Gordy was more of an extrovert. He loved people. Frankie, not so much. He's more of a homebody when it comes to who he loves. Or he'll surprise you and really like someone. Like our neighbors across the street. He really loves them. Instantly. First time they met. It was the sweetest thing. But anyway, he just wants to run and chase. Oh, anyway, back to my other dog. I was taught that most dogs are pretty smart, and they learn very quickly simple things like, oh, the stove's hot. And so I need to do my ponytail over. I wasn't paying attention. So this trainer told me to get a choke chain and put it on him, and I could put it on him backwards even. But because the dog was not used to it, it was different, and it behaved so uniquely that it would intimidate him a little bit. It would help him remember who was boss, and it wasn't him, because he was kind of bossy like this one. So I was like, I am not putting my dog on a choke collar. And he said, no, it's a training collar. A training collar, not a choke. But it does choke. Oh, we went through all that. So, I'm going to try something. Let me see, twist. Nope, that's not going to do it. No, I don't like it. Huh. You know, I'm going to keep it simple today. That'll seal those little ends. Alright. That feels better in my head. Anyway, when I put those collars on my first dog and on Frankie, they automatically just sit with pride and put their head so you can put it on them, sit with pride, and they're ready to go. And they are more well behaved on that leash without me having to worry about it. They're just well behaved. I don't know why. Now, I wouldn't own a dog that's bigger than me that I can't control at all. If it started to terrorize somebody and I was out on a walk, the dogs that I've had, I could pick them up, except Lucky. like he was my middle dog. I couldn't pick him up, but he was old. So if he, when he went after someone, all I had to do was pull his poor away it up. Excuse me. So I could talk about dogs all day. I bet if you have a dog, you know what I mean. If you have a cat, you know what I mean. Oh, we love our babies. I have my sunblock. Ta-da! I already sprayed down with 50 because my age spots, sunspots, we used to call them sunspots, freckles kind of thing, but they're permanent for the most part. We're getting so bad. It was freaking me out. I thought maybe I had skin cancer. And boy, look at all those I don't know. Liver, somebody, when I looked it up, somebody even called them liver spots. Like, I don't know. But from what research I've done, they're not cancerous. They're one of those spots. And it takes vitamin C, I guess some people say, and sunblock. There's some other things too. If you know some of those remedies that actually work, let me know. But they all sound long term, and at my age and my status, I really don't have room for all of those vitamins and nutrients, and just to get rid of a few spots on my arms. I eat pretty healthy. I don't know. Someone's always trying to sell something. I sound like an old goat. Okay, so here's what we talk about today. One of my readings was about demands versus requests, and that many of us are unhappy because we have so many unmet demands. That was me when I was younger. I don't know if that is you, but it's basically, I don't know what some examples are like. I can't take this anymore. So, but you continue taking it. So there's this demand that's unmet. I'm demanding you listen to me and change your ways. When we all know that change isn't going to happen, especially under that kind of pressure, because people know the difference between a demand and a request. And when we feel respected and we hear a request, we feel like we have more control. Therefore, we're happier with the person. Therefore, we're more happy to oblige, right? But we get so carried away. Yelling and screaming and crying and begging and kissing up and bribing. We want our way. We want our way. We want our way. I remember one of my clients said her husband's just about perfect, but she feels totally disrespected because he won't throw his socks in the hamper. And so, or whatever in the hamper. It's right there. It's right there. I don't understand it. It's a male thing. It's a male thing. And if a woman does it, it's, it has to do with testosterone. I believe that. Because there are certain things, I don't know, Google it. There are certain little things that females can do little things, like pick up a chair if you're bent over a certain way, like put your legs over a broom in a certain way. I mean, there are little things, and hearing certain sounds. I don't know. It's I don't need proof like that because I watch people. There are certain traits that, especially under pressure, that'll come out. How much testosterone a person has. Excuse me. So anyway, I said, how much energy do you put, say, on a daily or weekly basis into the fact that he doesn't put his clothes in the hamper? Oh, every morning and every night. Does it keep you from having fun together sometimes? Well, yeah, because I feel so disrespected. I'm like, okay, what are some of the things that he does do for you? Now, this is just an example, right? But it's such a good one because I see this when I used to work with couples, saw it all the time. What would happen if in the perfect world you just didn't see it anymore, and that once a day you went around, just like picking up the toys for the kids or cleaning out your sock drawer? How about every day you just went around the house and put the clothes in the laundry basket? Or pretend that the laundry basket encapsulates that 2-foot area around the laundry basket, and just pick it up and take it to a laundry room like you were going to do in the first place. She admitted, after some struggle, and I don't blame her, because people want to defend themselves. They want to have the right. We want to have the right to be right. The right to be right. And to be acknowledged. We need to be, people who've been through trauma want to fight for the right to be right and to be recognized. I'm right and I can prove it, even if there's no proof. I'm right because I say so, and I want you to respect me, to give me the right to be right. People who don't have trauma don't necessarily ever have that kind of way of thinking. Why would they? They have nothing they have to fight for, right? When you've had to basically emotionally or physically fight for your right to live, that's a little different. Not everybody experiences that. So she admitted, finally, that if she could wipe away all these facts that she lined up. He doesn't respect me. He's a slob. He won't listen to me. He won't do it for me, whether he wants to or not. Why can't he be my knight in shining armor? She needed someone to prove, right? But if it wasn't that, it probably was going to be something else. So we had to work on all the things, list them. I mean, paper. Back then we had paper and pen. And that's where a lot of people say these days, I'll do my homework on my computer or on my phone. I'm making my list right here. I'm doing my journal right here. I got to tell you, people are missing out on a spiritual movement, adjustment, a correction that I believe only happens if you use pen and paper. Pencil and paper. Stick and sand. It has to go from the brain down the arm and therefore to the heart. That's just my belief system. So anyway, she wrote down all the things that this partner provided for her. And so I suggested for 2 weeks, she had to keep her mouth shut when it came to that. Not nag for 2 weeks. Not nag for 2 weeks about anything. Because instead, I should say, you tell me to hurry up. Instead of doing all that, every time she started getting mad at him, to go ahead and look at the list. And she could put that list, copy it, and put it, or certain parts of it, on Post-its. Back then we used Post-its for lots of stuff. To keep reminding her of who he is. When we have trauma and our adrenaline goes up, we can forget who we're talking to, almost in a blackout. And if we're not, and here's proof. Later, when the person you were arguing with said, you said this and this, you're like, no, I did not. I said this, right? That's that crazy making that was connected to someone who's supposed to love you, care for you, and protect you, hurts you. So that is such a mind bungle that then later in life, when you're free to be aggressive, or it'll be fight, flight, or freeze, but I'm just talking about people like me. When someone doesn't do something the way my rules have created, lots of rules, then it's not just a little misunderstanding. It's not just, a communication issue. It's an offense. Does that make sense? So, reasonable requests go out the door, and what we're left with is a demand. I demand to be recognized, right? We might even be articulate enough to have all the words that create a scenario that embarrasses the other person. They feel embarrassed now, intimidated, because they don't know what to do with this particular feminine. They don't know what to do. So they buckle, or they burst, right? So now there's no communication about the situation at all. Now it's about who's going to win this argument without dying, because that's where the energy level is. So the secret is, how can I get myself to be in a reasonable amount, a reasonable enough level of mental awareness when I'm stressed out? Well, it takes recognizing when you're not stressed out. Because people who are stressed out will convince themselves that when they're like a stove on low is basically off. That's not true. The stove goes from off to warm to boil, and all those steps in between. Someone with trauma thinks warm or medium is off, relaxed, and boil is mad, not boil. You don't know how mad I can get. You right? Don't make me. Oh, I'm laughing now because I've been through it. Because it stops being about the actual topic. It turns instantly into like an Instapot, really fast. It turns into fight, flight, or freeze survival mode. Yeah. You know what? In the summertime, when I'm working in the yard, I should probably use waterproof mascara. Because when I sweat a lot, on occasion, between the sunscreen and a little bit of makeup getting in my eyes, sometimes it bothers my eyes a little bit. I'm not going to worry about it. It's today because I know I have some somewhere. And I'm just going to put a little bit of my mauve because it looks fairly natural. On no makeup days. No makeup. So the deal is, I think makeup helps a little bit get a layer between me and the sun. Just a little sun-kissed. I don't even know what this is, but I'm at the bottom of it, and I had it, I think I told you before, I take them out of their containers so that they take up less space packing. Seriously, I can go for a week with one carry-on, backpack and a carry-on. Okay, so anyway, with all this trauma, oops, good catch. See, back in the day, something like that would have really upset me. And it even hit my bursitis, but instead of going to a 7, 8, 9, or 10, or 12, it was like, okay, that hurt a little bit, but because I can be off and cool when something like that happens, and it really didn't hurt. It wasn't a shocking hurt. It was a blunt hurt. I didn't have to overreact to prove my point to myself that I'm defending myself, right? When we have trauma, it's not easy to differentiate between a bee flying close to us and a flying bullet, right? So, reasonable request versus demand. It's easier to tell the difference and how to offer that to somebody. A reasonable request versus a demand. If we're taking care of ourselves, we value ourselves, we're already breathing on a consistent basis. We're already reducing our energy level by doing some physical activity of some kind. If you're handicapped, you can even dance in your chair the best you can, right? You can be overweight. You can be frail, sit in a chair as comfortable as you can, or roll over in your bed and just move a little bit. You're going to be burning calories. And more importantly, to me, you're going to be building your respiratory system. You're going to help your heart rate, your blood pressure, and ta-da, the cherry on top, the meat of the tomato. To me, I love the cherry on top. It helps balance out the brain chemicals so that they're not so easily triggered. Yeah, look it up. It's good stuff. But then when someone doesn't pick up their socks or do the same thing they always do, that you always freak out about, you're not going to go to a 10. You can stay at a 2 or a 3, or give it to them free, right? when there are socks and shorts and t-shirts always right around this amount of the laundry basket, or dishes put in backwards in the dishwasher, why do people do that? I think some people who are a little bit narcissistic or have a high testosterone, they do things like that just to test you, just to tease you with real high testosterone. Or they do it because it's not important to them and they're just sloppy with certain things they don't care about. Just like feminines do certain things without thinking. Like run their gas tank low. Oh, that makes masculines usually crazy. Or when was the last time you checked your oil? Or air pressure. I'd rather not do it at all. I just can't remember to do it. I used to, years ago, I used to have to put a bright post-it on this was a long time ago, decades ago, a post-it on my dash to remind me to check the oil, tires, and gas level, to where I got so good at it that I didn't let my tank get under a half tank. Yeah, I got really good at it. But I had to train myself because it didn't come natural. So anyway, all this is to say, we put a price tag. When we're feeling normal, like the average human, we put a price tag on things that the price on each item represents how hot our stove is willing to get, or how upset we're willing to get, right? We have categories for offenses. Like socks around a hamper, not even offensive. Nobody cares. Pick up the damn socks. The scene we make over socks, and I've done it. Oh, I remember exploding over. Back in the day, you had to make your own ice cubes. I remember freaking out, temper tantrum over the ice cube tray not getting filled up. And I'll tell you what brought me out of it is I knew this really nice guy. He did so much. Isn't it interesting how people are put into our lives to show us things? Anyway, he was just, everybody knew how sweet he was to his girlfriend, and he wanted to ask her to marry him, but she picked on him a lot. I didn't know her, but looking back, she must have had a lot, oh my God, a lot of trauma, a lot of control issues. You know, if you weren't able to have that control when you were little, it's like you double make up for it when you get older in one way or another. Not always with anger, sometimes with buckling, illnesses, sickness, frailties. You know, I don't know, just throwing it out there. He shared that she threw such a fit about the ice cube trays not getting filled right, that he just like half filled the ice cube tray instead of letting him have those ice cubes and getting her own trays, or you know, a number of other ways to deal with it. But he said, he described her actions almost as if he was describing me in this temper tantrum that I had not long before I accidentally heard his story. And I was thinking, oh my God, I forget who this person is that has offended me in such a heinous way as to not fill the ice cube tray, or to leave the socks around the hamper, or toothpaste in the sink. Oh, those are heinous crimes. You're disgusting. You didn't put a new roll of toilet paper. And then forgetting the real list of things that this person does for me, or the things that I feel when I'm around them. Hey, Frankie, one more minute, babe. Enough. Thank you. Let's see. What's he gonna do? Okay. So anyway, I hope that gives you some thought. I know that there's a huge difference, and everybody knows what it is for them, between a reasonable request and a demand. Between a request and a demand. It doesn't even have to be reasonable. Excuse me. There's a difference. It's like a cat. He's always cleaning himself. So as you go through your day today, here's the challenge. Catch yourself. Feel the tension. Feel the tone. Feel the rapid or the speed, right? Of in this. Ooh. Whether you're making a reasonable request or a demand, and see if that might be something worthy of looking at. I think it's fascinating. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and please leave a message, a like or subscribe, because I like knowing there's someone on the other side. It really makes my day, especially when you leave a comment. Subscribe would be cool, I decided, because it really does lift your spirits a little bit. And the likes, those are cool, especially for the shy ones or the ones that are busy. They'll just put up a like. But I love it when you subscribe and leave a comment. I love your comments, especially some of you that are so brave and share a little bit of yourselves with me. I just feel like we're already friends. God, I love people who are willing to look at themselves, willing to share with me things that they think I need to work on. This channel has really helped comfort me more than you know. It's wonderful. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Mwah! Bye for now.